Back to the daily grind. The channel's getting false flagged by triggered trolls, so make sure you subscribe to the new channel. Let's get to the MMA news. Max Holloway has came out and officially responded to Conor McGregor, and Conor McGregor asked for this. Max Holloway ain't begging for a fight. Conor McGregor put Max Holloway's name in his mouth. He said, "I'm still the featherweight champion. I dismantled Max Holloway, the current featherweight champion, so I still reign over the division." Now, this is interesting because figuratively, I agree. Conor McGregor is still the champ because he does have a win over Max Holloway. So it's kind of like the John Jones-Daniel Cormier scenario where even though you're the champion, you're going to have a lot of people who still devalue your championship because the person who you lost to last, you never beat. And they didn't lose their belt. You didn't win the belt from them. You won the belt. Now, even though in this situation, in both situations, the champion was stripped. So, figuratively, yes, Conor McGregor's the champ. He's doing bigger things. He's doing other things. He couldn't defend his belt. He wanted to go fight for another title. He won a lightweight title. Now he's fighting Floyd Mayweather. So just to keep the division going, they had to strip him of the belt. But if there wasn't like a 1-year clause of stripping people, these guys, Max Holloway and Jose Aldo, all these, Frankie Edgar, they could all be fighting for an interim title technically while Conor McGregor went and fought for the lightweight title and then went and fought Floyd Mayweather. So you can consider that an interim title, but technically no. Technically, Max Holloway is the champion, the featherweight champion. So both sides you can argue. You can say no, Max Holloway's the champion, blah, 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 Conor's not active, or you could say he never beat Conor. So I understand both sides. But, and I've already gave you my opinion. I agree, figuratively, Conor is the champion. Technically, Max Holloway is the champion. With that being said, Max Holloway's diss was, to me, a little weak. It was a little weak. I mean, I expected a little more heat, but at the same time, you got to be careful because motherfucking the champ's fan base, you can't be too disrespectful because you do have a loss. They will flame you. They will, and it wasn't a split decision. You can't argue too hard. You got to be careful with what you say. With that being said, it was a little weak in my opinion. He shared before Conor McGregor and Max Holloway fought the first time. Conor McGregor said, "I came for the finish. Anything else is a loss to me." He wasn't able to finish Max Holloway like he was able to finish so many other people. But in that fight, Conor McGregor said he tore like his ACL, so he had an injury during that fight, which is why he wasn't able to finish Max Holloway. I mean, so you can say that's an excuse, whatever. So he wasn't able to finish Max Holloway, and so he said anything else is a loss to me. So Max Holloway is like saying, like, look, you said you even lost to me, even though you won, you didn't finish me. And it's like, so what are you saying? You lost because you weren't able to finish me. So, it's just a little, it rubs me a little wrong. I mean, it's not too good of a diss. He said, "I guess win or learn, a loss is the new dismantle." So he's saying, you didn't dismantle me. You lost to me because you weren't able to finish me, which I disagree with. I don't think Conor McGregor lost to Max Holloway. No, he wasn't able to, injury or not. No, he was not able to finish Max Holloway, but he still won. He still beat him. He still won the decision. So it is what it is. Max Holloway is one of my favorite fighters, but to me, this diss is just kind of whack. And Max Holloway, I mean, some of his trash talk can be a little cringy. He's not the best trash talker, but he's a hell of a fighter. He's a fan favorite fighter. He's an active fighter. He's done everything. He's on about a 9-10 fight winning streak. He's done everything he needed to win that interim championship and that technical featherweight championship. Now, figuratively, he's the interim champion. Figuratively, Conor McGregor's still the champ, but technically Max Holloway's definitely a champion. And now this is interesting to see if Max Holloway and if Conor McGregor's interested in coming when he comes back to MMA after he defends the lightweight title, so it doesn't get stripped. After he defends that, it's interesting to see if he's wanting to go back down and reclaim the featherweight title and fight Max Holloway, who's been undefeated since he lost to Conor McGregor. Both of them have been doing historical things. Does Conor McGregor say, all right, I want to go get the technical title back. I want to have both belts again at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's interesting. I would definitely love to see Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway again, but a lot of people believe Conor McGregor can't make featherweight again. They believe he's not going back down to 145 pounds. But I don't know. I believe with the right diet and stuff, he should be able to. But at the same time, he has since then went up to 170 pounds. Who knows if he's changed his strength and conditioning to put on more actual lean muscle, and so he's unable to cut weight the same way. He's got more muscle mass now. Maybe he can't make 145 pounds anymore because people like Joe Rogan talked about how difficult and how bad he looked trying to make it to 145 pounds before he ever went up to 170 pounds and fought Nate Diaz. So with that being said, who knows if Conor McGregor can even make it? What if, but Max Holloway, he can make the jump up 10 pounds for sure. Does Max Holloway want to come up? Will this trash talk lead to Max Holloway saying, you know what, fuck that, I'm coming up, I'll fight you 10 pounds heavier and I'll take that belt from you, if you know what I'm saying? So that might be a more realistic possibility. Max Holloway's young. He said he's got the whole feud. He wants to defend his belt, clean out the division, and he's still got time to move up. So if Conor McGregor wants to fight, Max Holloway, you're nuts if you think Max Holloway wouldn't take the fight. He said he's not going to beg for the fight, but if Conor McGregor comes out today and says, you know what, I want to fight Max Holloway, come up 10 pounds, fight me in Madison Square Garden after Floyd, that's what I want. Max Holloway's taking the fight, even though that's unrealistic. That's not exactly going to happen. Max Holloway would definitely, anybody would take the Conor McGregor fight. So if Conor McGregor continues up speaking Max Holloway's name and saying he dismantled Max Holloway, putting Max Holloway's name in his mouth, maybe Conor McGregor will be interested in defending his belt versus Max Holloway. That would be a good fight, featherweight or lightweight. Now that I think about it, it's probably more realistic. Max Holloway move up 10 pounds, boom, super fight. 10-fight winning streak. Last person I lost to was Conor. Since then, I cleared out that division you ran from. I'm just saying, you know, that's how he can build it up. Big fight. So, hey, it is what it is. I definitely want to see Nate Diaz versus Conor. I want to see fucking the winner of Tony Ferguson versus Kevin Lee versus Conor. I want to see Max Holloway versus Conor. But how many times is Conor McGregor going to fight again in MMA? Who knows? He's going to fight again in MMA. I believe so. I hope, this is my thoughts, I hope the UFC, you know, Conor McGregor after his last MMA fight was talking about, maybe I return. I want a piece, though. I want a piece of the pie. Now he's going on to fight Floyd Mayweather. So now he can afford a piece of the pie, let alone he really wants a piece of the pie. Now he can afford a piece. Some of these celebrities that have bought into the UFC, like Mark Wahlberg, and I can't think of the other ones off the top of my head, they said, hey, Conor McGregor wants to buy some shares, I'll sell him some shares, but they're expensive. Well, now Conor McGregor can afford some shares. So if he's able to, you know, get a little small piece of the pie, it would make sense. Let's say he invests $100 million into the UFC. If he fights Tony Ferguson or Kevin Lee, and then Nate Diaz, and then Max Holloway, he can turn that $100 million into $500 million just because them are all huge fights. That's going to make, you know, his piece of the pie grow. So I believe we can see Conor McGregor back in MMA if the UFC finds a way to get, if he wants to buy some shares, which would make sense for him to keep growing the company if he can, you know, get a piece of the pie. Other than that, I don't see him coming back just for like, oh yeah, I'll fight for 10. I just made over $100 million, but I'll fight a harder fight, you know, a more dangerous fight for 1/10 of the money. Yeah, I'll come back for 20 million, or, you know, 1/5 of the money. I'll come back for 20 million even though I just made fucking 100 million. I could go make another 100 million fighting Paulie McDougals, or I can go fight a fucking killer like Kevin Lee or Tony Ferguson or Nate Diaz or Max Holloway for 20 million. He would rather go fight old Paulie McDoogie with fucking pillow pads on his hands. I mean, it just makes more sense. So hopefully the UFC, my prediction is hopefully he'll find a way to get a piece of the pie, which will make it worth it for him to fight more. And that'll mean not only just one more fight, maybe 2 more fights, maybe 3 more fights. Conor McGregor's still pretty young. He could fucking fight so many more times, and every fucking fight would be fucking huge if he gets a piece of the pie, and it would make sense. So hopefully that's what happened. With that being said, I might be able to get one more video out. Actually, I don't think I'm going to be able to. Yeah, because I gotta head to work in about 24 minutes, and I still gotta call my ride and shit because my girl's got the car at her job. So it is what it is, man. Fuck. This actually turned out to be a lot more than I thought it was gonna be. A lot to unpack here. Good stuff, man. What it is. Let the hitters know what the fuck you think about this in the comments. What the fuck you tapping at? Cause I'm gonna be reading the comments at work. Cause I'm gonna be pretty fucking bored. I'm gonna be watching Fight Pass, like I said. I'm gonna be having some replays on Snapchat. I'll probably be watching some Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson fights because I want to make sure I got a Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson versus the world out. That's going to be fun. I mean, yeah, it is what it is, man. That's what's going on. So I won't be doing nothing else on YouTube for the next like 8 hours or so. I don't even know if I'm going to be too tired after I get off work because I woke up early, or if they got something, strenuous for us to do. I don't think we do, but still, at the same time, I will be on Snapchat and I'm watching UFC Fight Pass, fucking getting ready to do some versus the worlds. Tomorrow when I wake up, it's back to the grind. If I'm not back to the grind after work, I'm out. Why did the blonde climb on the roof? Because someone told her that the drinks were on the house.